Hey, this is Cameron. Remember when people would write blog posts in response to other people's blog posts? This is like that, but it's a video because I don't want to write a blog post. I just want to record a video. And today we're going to talk about tenacity, specifically this article by Fred Wilson, aka Friedrich Thomas Wilson, aka For the Win, FT Dubs, aka Freddie Dubs, aka Freddie Dub Dubs. All right? Freddie wrote an article on tenacity, and it's actually not his first tenacity tango. He wrote a nice post on the subject back in 2016, and here's another one I remember reading all the way back in 2009. It seems like Fred is downright tenacious on the subject of tenacity. Anyhow, in terms of last week's article, he hits on some things I can relate to. He talks about being not the smartest person in the room. He talks about having a lot of weaknesses and ultimately making up for it by applying those sort of second-rate skills regularly, diligently, and with gusto. So tenacity. I like tenacity. I believe in its power. But focusing on tenacity, I think, paints an incomplete picture. It is only half the equation. The equation? Yes, the success equation. Tenacity times blank equals all your favorites. Money, power, fame, dudes, ladies, rock and roll, Doge. Doge? Yes, Doge. This is his Scrooge McDoge pit. So, tenacity times blank, what's missing? Judgment. Judgment is missing. Judgment acts as a multiplier on tenacity. And judgment can be good or bad. Good judgment is a positive number in the equation, and bad judgment, guess what, is a negative number. So, if we use multiplier, tenacity times judgment equals success, let's say you got a 7 on tenacity. I don't know what that really means, but you got 7 tenacity points times 8 judgment points. That equals 56 success points. Holy shit, well done. Keeping that going, tenacity 100, oh my gosh, you're so much more tenacious than that last character, times judgment, oh, well, your judgment's kind of crappy, negative 20, equals negative 2,000 success points, which is essentially saying 2,000 failure points. And then, if you increase tenacity while doing nothing to your judgment, 1,000 tenacity, negative 20 judgment, you're going to end up with negative 20,000 success points. Stop being so tenacious. Maybe you ought to go to judgment school before you get on the tenacity train. All right, 20,000 failure points for you. So what I'm trying to say is that it's not enough to focus on the difference between tenacity and timidity. We also need to look at that y-axis, the difference between good and bad judgment. And sure, if you have good judgment and you're tenacious, that's probably going to pay out for you. Not definitely, but probably. That said, if you have good judgment and you're not tenacious, that's probably going to end badly for you. You will miss opportunities because you are going to drop out of the race. You're going rabbit, you're not going turtle. Down here, interesting, I give it 1 check mark because you have terrible judgment, but you're also not tenacious, so your judgment isn't going to hurt you. You're going to hang out, you're going to rewatch every season of The Office, Parks and Rec. Life's going to be pretty okay for you, and you are unquestionably better than these poor souls. The triple X. These are the folks who are tenacious, but they don't have the judgment to back it up. Let's use an example. You're like, I don't believe you, Cameron. Give me an example where tenacity really backfired. I've got 2 words for you. Bullets and ball.
But nobody has given up more than Mark Griffin.
I quit my job and sold all my possessions that I could sell and found myself in food pantries and sleeping in a car. It's not about the money. It's about my game is going to be an Olympic sport. It's just that good.
Okay, the object of the game is to get the ball past your opponent.
Okay.
By utilizing your forearms and or hands.
Okay.
Okay. My point. Okay. My point. My point.
Okay, I get it.
That's bullet ball.
Mark, 26 years is a really long time.
Yes, it is.
Tell me what you have put into this game over those years. Where are you now?
I quit my job. I've sold all my stuff, traded my Saab in for a 92 Volvo station wagon with 300,000 miles, sold my wife's wedding ring, loaded everything up into what I could get in that station wagon and drove to Chicago.
If you sold everything, what do you have now?
I have bullet ball.
No!
God! No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Okay, I love Mark, and honestly, this is like actually a little bit hard to watch, but I think it's an important lesson because this guy is packed to the gills with tenacity, and it's just that negative multiplier of judgment. You know, if he applied that tenacity to a different problem, a different goal, who knows what he could have achieved, but bullet ball as an Olympic sport is hard to believe, and the consequences of that decision have been decades long and grave. So, you know, I worry about everybody out there who hangs on to tenacity without getting a quick check-in on their judgment. You have to kind of know your judgment, but it's a hard thing to know about yourself. I don't know how you know for sure if you have good judgment. Basically, I would use some context clues. Do people ask you for advice a lot? And then if they do ask you for advice and then they follow your advice, does that tend to go well for them? Can you point to times when you're like, hey, I think we should do this, and it turned out that, yeah, you should. And then the other thing you could do is ask somebody else. You know who amongst your friends has good judgment. It's an easy thing to see in other people and a very hard thing to see in yourself. So ask other people and make them tell you the truth. Look them right in the eyes and say, hey, do I have good judgment or bad judgment? And then they'll go, oh, no, you got great judgment. And then make them tell you the truth. Remind yourself of how many shitty restaurants were born simply because friends and family were too afraid to tell somebody that they can't cook worth a damn. Okay, I think that's it. Love you. Bye. Cameron. Cameron is your bestest friend.